Method in Java. A method is a block of code or collection of statements or a set of code grouped together to perform a certain task or operation. It is used to achieve the reusability of code. We write a method once and use it many times. We do not require to write code again and again. It also provides the easy modification and readability of code. Just by adding or removing a chunk of code, the method is executed only when we call or invoke it. Let's see method declaration. The method declaration provides information about method attributes such as visibility, return type, name, and arguments. It has six components that are known as method header. As we have shown in the following figure, there are access specifier, return type, method name, parameter list, method header. All these bunch is called as method header. This is method body, method signature. Let me tell about each in detail. Method signature. Every method has a method signature. It is a part of the method declaration. It includes the method name and parameter list. Access specifier. Access specifier or modifier is the access type of the method. It specifies the visibility of the method. Java provides four types of access specifier: public, private, protected, default. Public. The method is accessible by all classes when we use public specifier in our application. Private. When we use a private access specifier, the method is accessible only in the classes in which it is defined. Protected. When we use protected access specifier, the method is accessible within the same package or subclasses in a different package. Default. When we do not use any access specifier in the method declaration, Java uses default access specifier by default. It is visible only from the same package only. Return type. Return type is a data type that the method returns. It may have a primitive data type, object, collection, void, etc. If the method does not return anything, we use void keyword. Method name. It is a unique name that is used to define the name of a method. It must be corresponding to the functionality of the method. Suppose if we are creating a method for subtraction of two numbers, the method name must be subtraction. A method is invoked by its name. Parameter list. It is the list of parameters separated by a comma and enclosed in the parenthesis. It contains the data type and variable name. If the method has no parameter, left the parenthesis blank. I mean, if the method has no parameter, then it left the parenthesis blank. Method body. It is a part of the method declaration. It contains all the actions to be performed. It is enclosed within the pair of curly braces. Next, calling a method we see in programming. Java method return type. So, Java method return type. A Java method may or may not return a value to the function call. We use the return statement to return any value. For example, I will show you in program. Okay, now static method. A method that has static keyword is known as static method. In other words, a method that belongs to a class rather than an instance of a class is known as a static method. Create a static method by using the keyword static before the method name. We create a static method by using the keyword static before the method name. That you have to remember. The main advantage of a static method is that we can call it without creating an object. It can access static data members and also exchange the value of it. It is invoked by using the class name. The best example of a static method is the main method. Instance method. The method of the class is known as the instant method. It is a non-static method defined in the class. Before calling or invoking the instant method, it is necessary to create an object of its class. So that's instant method. It is a non-static method defined in the class before calling or invoking the instance method. Method overloading. Method overloading is a feature of Java in which a class has more than one method of the same name and their parameters are different. In other words, we can say that method overloading is a concept of Java in which we can create multiple methods of the same name in the same class, and all the methods work in different ways. When more than one word of the same name is created in a class, this type of method is called overloaded method. Benefits of method overloading increases the readability of the program. It provides flexibility to programmers so that they can call the same method for different types of data. This makes the code look clean, reduces the execution time because the binding is done in compilation time itself. Method overloading minimizes the complexity of the code. With this, we can use the code again, which saves memory. How to do method overloading? In Java, we do method overloading in two ways: by changing the number of parameters or by changing data types. Changing the number of arguments. We have two methods in changing number of arguments. The first method has two arguments and the second method has three arguments. And when it comes to changing the data types, here we have two methods and the data types are different. Arrays. An array is a collection of similar types of data. For example, if we want to store the names of 100 people, then we can create an array of the string type that can store 100 names like this. Array length fits array length equal to 9 and first index 0, last index 8. How to declare an array in Java? This we already discussed, changing the number. Yes, how to declare an array in Java? We declare like this: data type array name. Data type is int, maybe int double, float double. Let's take double. Array name data. You can take a array name whichever whatever you specify there. How to initialize arrays in Java? First, we declare an initialize array like this: data type, and here is int age. This is the initialization part. Our declare in this type. Int is new int of 5. We also use this also different ways to initialize arrays in Java. How to access elements of an array in Java. The elements of an array using the index number. Here is the syntax for accessing elements of an array. Like array of index. To access array elements, we use array of index. Looping through array elements using the for loop. For each loop, we see there in programming multi-dimensional arrays. A multi-dimensional array is an array containing one or more arrays. Two-dimensional arrays store the data. Here is two-dimensional array. Store the data in rows and columns. Int array into 5 rows, 2 rows, 5 columns. It is called two-dimensional and also multi-dimensional array. We write like this multi-dimensional array. Next, object-oriented programming. So, reaching these milestone courtesy of its object-oriented nature. Java is organized in such a way that everything you program in it becomes either a class or an object. Object-oriented programming is about creating objects that contain both data and methods. What are the advantages of learning object-oriented programming? OOP is faster and easier to execute. It provides a clear structure for the programs, helps to keep the Java code dry. Dry means don't repeat yourself, and makes the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. OOP makes it possible to create full reusable applications with less code and shorter development time. So let's see the system. Here are the different types which we use here: object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. So inheritance, we know already discussed about object and class. So inheritance is one of the basic concept of OOP, in which one object acquires the properties and behaviors of the parent object. It's creating a parent-child relationship between two classes. It offers robust and natural mechanism for organizing and structure of any software. So, in simple, inheritance is acquiring the properties and behaviors of the parent object. Polymorphism. Polymorphism refers to one of the OOP's concept in Java, which is a ability of a variable, object, or function to take on multiple forms. For example, in English, the verb run has a different meaning if you use it with a laptop, a food race, and business. Here, we understand the meaning of run based on the other words used along with it. The same also applied to polymorphism. Next, abstraction. Abstraction is one of the OOP concept in Java, which is an act of representing essential features without including background details. It is a technique of creating a new data type that is suited for a specific application. Let's understand this one of the OOP concept with example. While driving a car, you do not have to be concerned with its internal working. Here, You just need to concern about parts like steering wheel, gears, accelerator, etc. So, same applies here in abstraction. It is an act of representing essential features without including background details. That's called abstraction. Next, encapsulation is the one of the best OOP concept of wrapping the data and code. The variables of a class are always hidden from the other classes. It can only be accessed using the methods of their current class. For example, in school, a student cannot exist without a class. So, encapsulation plays key role. It's a concept of wrapping the data and code. So, let's see what is Java class. A class is a blueprint or template for the object. Before we create an object, we first need to define the class. It is a logical entity, it can't be physical. Class is a logical entity, it can't be physical. To create a class in Java, structure, syntax, class name, fields methods, we use fields methods. A class in Java can contain fields methods, constructors, blocks, nested class, and interface. Let's see example. Yeah, class bicycle, state or private int care equal to 5. It's state or field. Public void breaking, system.out.println, working of breaking. That's behavior or method. Next, Java objects. An object is called an instance of a class. For example, suppose bicycle is a class, then mountain bicycle, sports bicycle, touring bicycle, etc. can be considered as objects of the class. Creating an object in Java. Class name object equal to new class name. In this way, we create an object. Class name object equal to new class name. Bicycle sports bicycle equal to new bicycle. Bicycle touring bicycle equal to new bicycle. For bicycle class, we use to create an object, we use this. So, let me tell you the key differences between Java classes and objects before jumping into programming. Class objects. A class is a blueprint for creating objects. Object. An object is a copy of a class. Class is a logical entity, or whereas object is a physical entity. The keyword used is class. Here the keyword used is new. In object we use the keyword new. A class is designed or declared only once. Here in object, you can create any number of objects using one single class. The computer does not allocate memory when you declare a class, whereas objects, the computer allocates memory when you declare a class. Yeah, to access members of a class, we use access field and method. Let's take sport bicycle dot gear, bicycle dot braking, so on so. Let's see programs. First, we discussed about array. So here is the array examples. Public class array, public static void main string args. Create an array first way int is equal to some values here. Let's print the accessing elements of array. So here are first element what we gave. Next example 2, public class public static void main string args. It's a second way to declare array and initialize to int is new int 5. Same, but the way here we took is different. Let's see. Yeah, add string elements in second way. Just the sixth line is decoded when we see from the first program. Here we use just int is equal to values. Here, here int is equal to new int of 5. Yeah. Third example, public class public static void main string args scanner input equal to new scanner of system dot int marks equal to new int of 5 int total 0 float average for int I equal to 0 I less than marks dot length I plus plus system dot out dot println enter marks equal to input dot next int system dot out dot println accessing elements of array for int I equal to 0 I less than marks dot length I plus plus system dot out dot println your marks average equal to total divided by 5. Let's print total average. So enter marks. Let's enter 99 and 100, 98, 97, 89. Yeah, your marks 99, your marks. So these are the output total and average. Method. Defining a method. Public static void java bags system dot I just took the so I'm here training you Java. So I took Java batch system.out.println hello Java batch out.println. Today's topic is methods. Defining method public static void Android. Let's take Android system.out.println hello Android batch system.out.println Android app development public static void main string args. Here I am calling the method. Instead of printing like this, I am calling just hello Java batch. So it prints the output. Let's see here. Hello Java batch. Today's topic. That's the topic here. Method overloading. There will method overloading. We are not jumping into that in programming. So when I call a method, one it displays the line here I specify. It is used suppose we have written 100 lines of code. We can't write for everything system.out.println. So instead of that, we call method like this. Method 2 example public class public static int add int a int b return a plus b. Same parameters we use multiple times. That's called method overloading. Return a plus b. Public static int subtract int a return a minus b. Public static void main string args int result equal to add a value b value a10 b20 result print result. So here our result printed. We go to third example. Public class, public static int add, return a plus b, public static int add, a plus b plus c, return next, public static float add. Method overloading, having same name for number of methods with. So that's method overloading. Different parameters or number of parameters. That's here. Next, multi-dimensional example. Public class, public static void main string args int marks. Next, int x equal to marks row column. System.out.println marks. See the output. 76. Yeah, here plus x. So marks 1, 2. This is the multi-dimensional example. Next, the second one. Public class, public static void string args int marks for int or equal to 0 or less than 3 or plus plus for int c equal to 0 c less than 3 c plus plus system.out.println row column c 10 20 30 40 60 76 60 85 41. It printed in 3 rows and 3 columns. Next, creating an object of class. Public class student, field or data member or instant variable. Int roll number, string name, methods, void display, system dot. This is the method we use to display. Void means nothing. Empty function. System.out.println roll number name. Public static void main string args student s1 new student. To create an object of class, we write new s1 dot roll number 1 name s1 dot display. Assign value of numbers, assign values of members here, and invoke method of object s1 dot display is invoke method of object. Excuse me. Student s2 equal to new student s2 dot roll number equal to 2 s2 dot name display. So here is the output. Roll number name